I'm with my girl, Beth Bice, season 9 of Married at First Sight. Beth, you are basic Caucasian sex, like, should be everywhere. I mean, that was honestly, do people tell you that was the greatest line ever of that show?
They do, and I don't even know how. Like, that's just Beth. Like, I hate to sound like that, but things just come out of my mouth. I don't really realize like how it's just me. I don't know. I just at that moment, that's just how I was feeling.
Oh my God.
And it was basic, and we were Caucasian, and it was sex. So it was basic, it was sex.
But
I didn't know.
But
I had no idea.
You and Jamie, though, were having, it seems like from that show, though, you guys were having hot sex from the beginning. So were you just mad at him in that moment? And you were like, whatever. The only thing, I mean, it was so great, that scene. You're like, the only thing you're good at is basic Caucasian sex. But it seemed like the sex with him was really good.
I'm one of those people that I'm like so nice, but then like when you like get her mad, she like lets it all out, and I don't filter it, and you're gonna know how I feel if you upset me. And so that's just like my inner just sassiness, I guess. Like I just didn't like had no filter. I don't know, these things just come out of my mouth, and like it's not the first time I've heard like watching these Instagram footages right now. That was Jamie's idea, by the way, to make that mug. He's the one that created it. He's like, look at this is funny. I'm like, dude, you gotta put that on the internet. That is hilarious.
Okay, you sell these mugs that say basic Caucasian sex. Is there any other merch? Are you selling T-shirts with it, or like keychains? Anything else?
So I think not yet, but I think my next adventure with it is going to be bed pillows. So like throw bed pillows, because I just kind of feel like
brilliant.
If anything goes right, I can say whatever. I just kind of feel like, what if you were having a one night stand and like you had basic Caucasian sex pillow just like on your bed, and it's just like, that's kind of funny. Or like you were bringing like your partner in for the first time, and that's what's on your bed, and you're like,
okay, but how successful have sales been? I mean, this is like Shark Tank right now.
Every day.
Okay, do you think thousands of dollars off that mug? Because I'm like, that is one of the greatest TV lines. Okay,
yep.
Yes.
Yep. And I trademarked it too. It's trademarked now.
You are a businesswoman. I love it.
I got real Kris Jenner about it. He taught me well.
Oh, you seriously. Anyway, that was like the greatest line. We have a whole bunch of things to talk about in your life, and also current season. Married at First Sight season 11 just wrapped. Season 12, they're already getting to launch in January. Kind of controversial the format. Ooh. So I want to ask you about that. But you're the first person that's been on my show that's actually stayed married to your Married at First Sight person.
Well, I feel special, first of all. Thank you.
Amber Bowles has been on. We obviously know it didn't work with Matt. And you knew Matt. You knew them, right?
Oh, my God. This was probably one of the hardest things as a female I had to go through, because, like, I was getting text messages. I was getting screenshots of him at bars, him with text messages and conversations. And so, like, it was me and her best friend Raven were both like breaking the news to her at the same time. Like, I'm like, have her in my apartment while we were doing filming. I had her behind closed scenes. Like, we're drinking mimosas, and I'm like, girl, like, you got to sit down. We have to, like, what I'm about to show you is not going to feel very good. And it did not. And I couldn't even talk about it on camera until until I knew she was going to be okay. Because that's messed up.
I know. And you know what was hard watching that season is she was really into it. I really feel like she gave her heart and gave her all to Matt. And Matt was like one of the biggest con artists of that show. I mean, it was crazy.
But we let him know at the end. I let him know. He was not conning me.
Well, and your YouTube channel, you've had Amber on, and you guys continue to let him know, which I think is great. And by the way, where is he? I feel like when I had Amber on, it was months and months ago. And I know he was playing, I think, overseas for some basketball league, or was trying to.
Allegedly. He's all in allegedly. You know, yeah. I wouldn't believe anything that he tries to prove on camera. I wouldn't believe anything that came out of his mouth. No. Okay. He's a hoe.
He is a hoe.
I should send him that. He's a hoe.
He's such a hoe. He's a tall ass hoe. But he really
should have one of those pillows on his bed, basically. It would do really well.
Yeah, and you're right.
I'll send him one.
Amber was not that impressed with his dick. You need to send him one. But he was all over town with that wang. I mean, so I don't even know if he was basic. I mean, my Lord, he was like slinging.
No, that's definitely actions of a basic male. Yeah, that's definitely some basic male Caucasianness.
Okay, tell me this, because I'm fascinated by this show, because more and more couples seem to actually get married at first sight and work, and you and Jamie are one of them. All right, be honest, when you were going through this process, did you think to yourself, there's no way in hell that this is ever going to work? Your parents have been married for years and years. You obviously have a great foundation of seeing what a healthy marriage is like. So, like, when was the moment you were like, all right, shit, like, this is, like, they actually did a good job. This is going to work.
I would say at first, like the first week, I was like, you know, it was all rainbows and butterflies, and then it got like a little sketchy in the middle. But I mean, it wasn't Jamie just the person you saw on camera isn't the person he was that I was seeing. I was seeing something different whenever those cameras were in front of me. And that's why I always pay attention to every aspect of a human. And when I was seeing those actions, like he was being a totally different human when the cameras weren't. And then when those cameras would show up, you could just tell he would just turn into a different person. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give this human a chance off cameras. Let's see how that goes.
And that was the decision to stay with him even after the show.
Absolutely.
And then you've been super open. I love couples therapy. My husband and I have been together for 8 years. We've been married for a little over 1, and we go to couples therapy every month. And I'm like, we could never, the level of communication, like we never would have got there without a therapist. So obviously Jamie was willing to do therapy. What have you guys learned about each other? You've been married a couple years now. So how is couples, how's it kept you together?
Well, I highly recommend couples therapy. And I think where people mess up is I think couples therapy needs to start at the beginning of a relationship and not when it gets bad. That's the first. Yes. I will say there's nothing what's that word? That's anti-masculinity. It's not like unmasculine to like go to couples therapy. Regardless, it was really awesome. The same experience you had. We really learned how to communicate with each other in therapy, because I think that people do have different languages, and sometimes people don't know how to talk about their language or how to like effectively communicate that. So having, I hate to say like a chaperone there to kind of dissect our conversations and telling us where we're missing, that was super helpful. I mean, I don't think we would have stayed together if it wasn't for couples therapy, to be honest, because we would have not known how to get along or talk to each other either.
Well, you two seem like yin and yang, which is kind of like my husband. Like you seem like you fire off, from your emotions. He seems like more, I guess, level-headed. I hate to use level-headed because I love that you wear your heart on your sleeve, but he seems to take it in stride. Is that dynamic true? And is it still true? Yeah. Or like, do you feel like you've changed or he's changed?
I think change for the better. He's definitely made me more aware to like maybe not spit out so fast. At least think about what you're about to spit out before you do it. But no, he's very logical and very analytical about the way he thinks about situations and reactions. So I guess I'm definitely more of a knee jerker, but he keeps me level. He keeps me like, all right, girl, I know you're like acting a little crazy right now. Let's just take a deep breath, sit down, what's wrong. And he's really, really good about doing that. And so he's been a really great balance and keeping me like in check, because sometimes you and I seem like we're very similar, and we like to let people know how we feel.
Oh my God. Yeah. And I love that you own, like, you're like, I'm weird, like I'm crazy. I love that you embrace those words, because I think especially for women, those words are used against women so often. And I feel like you just take them and you're like, yeah, you know what? I know I'm fucking weird. I don't care. This is who I am.
That's good.
And I think it's amazing. But, you've like on certain blogs, people describe you as one of the most disliked people ever on Married at First Sight, franchise, because of like.
I didn't know that. I had no idea until this very second. I had no idea.
Well, the blogs aren't really true. It's just basically people going, because, people thought you were a brat. People thought you were, like, how did you feel that the audience has responded since you've left, when you were on?
I feel like, I definitely was a brat on this show. I have no shame in saying that. I was a brat. I was spit off. I was not considerate. I just did my own thing. But that's okay though, because it takes experiences like that to really reel it back in and being like, dang girl, you got to like take it down a notch. You're like not that much of a brat, but it's definitely like made me think about the way I react to things. And I know I'm a good person, and the people around me know I'm a good person. And outside of that circle, I don't really have much to prove to those people. So I just keep going to my own beat. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Don't hang out with me. I don't know. Don't come around.
No, I thought it was genuine and sincere. And you know, I guess the more I watch the show, I truly am amazed with Dr. V and Dr. Pepper, like, and Pastor, like they do seem to actually put you guys together in a good formula, really.
Mm-hmm. They really do care, and they still care. I talk to Dr. Viviana probably 3 or 4 times a week. Like we definitely conversate. Yeah. I love them. Pastor Cal, I was going to go to his couples retreat that he had going on in Costa Rica in October. Of course, I got canceled, but I was definitely going to go. But yes, they still care. I'll pass the show. Those experts, I don't care how many times people drag them, those experts care. And they still care, and they still stay in it.
What was the biggest piece of advice that they gave to you guys that stuck with both of you while you were on the show or when you left?
I guess the biggest thing I took was marriage ain't for punks. That's for sure. Like Pastor Cal, it's like his thing, marriage ain't for punks. And it took me all the way through the Married at First Sight experience to realize what that really meant. But the other thing that really, really stuck to me was you have to protect your marriage, and going through this whole experience and then coming out, there's a level of boundaries, and you have to protect that. And you can't let that noise that's going on in the background from the show or the audience get in the way of your marriage and what you're trying to achieve, because no one else has to live your life. You have to. And so if they have a problem with the way you're going to live your life, then you don't need them around you anyway. So that's kind of how I block out all the noises. Like I protect my marriage because Pastor Cal told me to do that.
That's so smart. And it's funny because when my husband and I were going, we got married in the Catholic Church, so we had to go to these Catholic classes. And one of the things they said, and it's actually true, is they said, you know, you should minimize how much you complain or bitch about your spouse to your family and friends, because they're always going to be on your side. And the more you know, it should really be about you and either a pastor or you and a couples therapist resolving your issues and not going to your family, because everybody's going to have an opinion. And I was like, I don't know, I just had never heard that way. And I'm like, wow, you do have to protect your marriage.
Yeah, you do. And I agree with you on that too. I've definitely heard you don't run to your family. I'm like, best thing to do is write it down. Just write it down and then just walk away and take some deep breaths, because chances are the anxiety and the explosions happening in your head to what your spouse is doing is probably not as bad as what you're painting the picture to be.
Totally. And Beth, I think everybody is curious. How is your marriage now? How are you guys doing?
Oh my gosh. It's so great. I mean, honestly, through the pandemic, we thought it was going to get worse, but we've just become really codependent on each other. Because we were out here in the city of San Francisco and everything shut down. So all we had was each other. We literally had just moved there. And so we didn't know anybody. And so we've really talked our way through this pandemic with each other. I think we have a whole different level of respect. Like he's kept me, I hate to sound like this, but he's kept me so safe during all of this. And he's been like my protector with all of this. Like, it's been really interesting to see him take this approach to the life and what's happening. But I mean, our marriage, don't get me wrong, there's still roller coasters and rocks in the road, but I think that's normal with any relationship. Like from what I'm hearing is people and marriages have problems sometimes, and it's not doesn't mean you have to get divorced. It just means that you got to kind of have to fix them. But other than that, it's been really, really great.
No, wait a minute. Didn't you just have to move? Weren't you in San Fran, but you had to move to Santa Barbara? Why did you guys have to move? Because of all the COVID restrictions or what?
Yes. Yeah, because we were living in a city apartment. So it was very San Francisco small. And we tried to move to a bigger apartment. That didn't work because the restrictions just kept going. And I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you. You see the whole entire city shut down. You know that the coastline's right there. So my husband works in tech, so he gets to work wherever he wants to, as do I. And so we're like, let's go post up somewhere really cool while this happens. And I'm kind of glad we did, because now we're going into a second lockdown. And I'm like, all right, we're in a cool spot. I get to hang out by the ocean. I'm cool.
You're in a great house. And okay, this leads me to your YouTube channel, which is just epic already that you're building. But you were doing hair, right? Like you're okay. So, and are you doing hair anymore, or are you fully working on your YouTube channel and you have a lot of ads too on your Instagram. You do really well.
Thanks. Thank you so much for saying that, because I've talked to other hairstylists too, and that's what I was I was behind Jamie. He wanted to go work in tech. I wanted to go work in more high volume salons with more of a platform that I could go do platform work and education. So I moved out to there with the ambitions of working for like, you know, a high fashion salon and becoming an educator for a company and stuff. And, you know, I was literally in the middle of interviews, March 13th. I'll never forget that day because I was in about 4 different interview sets, and instantly they all stopped. Like it just stopped. And the salons didn't open. I was interviewing with another account executive position for a brand management company for hair. And it just all stopped. And none of those jobs have come back at all. So I've had to pivot totally. I'm like, all right, girl, what you know, you got hair, you know, beauty. All right, you know how to talk to people. All right, just put that camera up and just start going and you can do it. So I had to really pivot, and I wasn't going to be one of those people that just sat there and cried because their career ended because of this. I was going to pivot. I was going to make sure that I still stay true to the beauty industry and to just fun. I just like to have fun, and I'm silly, and I just like, I want to do weird stuff.
Well, and it sounds like you would go back, like when, you know, when things return, like you'd go back to doing, you know, I think I had read that you were like, you know, great colorist and everything. So it sounds like you're willing to go, maybe that's what you want to pursue too.
Oh, absolutely. As soon as this all clears up, that's going to be the first thing I do is get behind a chair again and just start touching as many heads as I can. Because that's just what I love to do. And Dad was actually voted Best of Charlotte hairstylist in 2016. So I love my career. I take it very serious, and it just really sucked. But I'm not going to let it suck.
I know. Okay, wait. Crazy question. But you were in Charlotte. That's where Southern Charm is filmed, right?
Charleston, but that's like
okay.
not far. It's the same thing. Actually, it's the same thing. I know some of the cast members are from Charlotte or that area.
I was going to say, did you ever audition for that show?
No.
But
I'm not much of a Southern charmer.
Well, I think I read that you like wanted to get the hell out of there. I was like, girl, I want to move to California too. So I don't blame you.
I couldn't. It's like when you grow up somewhere forever and ever, you kind of need to spread your wings out and fly and see the world.
No, I'm with you 100%. But I thought, oh, you know, you were really close to the Southern Charm, either cast or like area. So I'm like, I wonder if you were ever auditioned for that. Because that'd be another great. No,
I don't know. I mean, Catherine and I, we'll go head and head. You want to call some drama? We can call some drama, girl. 2 redheads. Let's go. But
there's just people that are made for reality TV, and you are one of them. You know, you embraced. You embraced every bit of it. You know, you were, you know, because some people put themselves out there and then they, you know, they beat themselves up or they feel like, oh, I wasn't, you know, represented. And I love that you were like, no, they represented me absolutely 100%. This is like,
that was me.
Like,
yep, that was.
Yes,
I said that.
And
I said.
I think it's great. Okay, have you guys entertained or have you been approached to do any other reality shows?
We have. But we are dedicated to our Lifetime family and our Kinetic family, and that is where my only heart will stay. So unless it's with them, I won't stray away from those networks. So, you know, we're doing couples cam right now. So I'll go ahead and say we're doing couples cam. That's a lot of fun. And all of the couples that have made it are on there. And we have 3 babies on the way with there. And, you know, Jamie and I are stuck out here in California, not knowing a soul. So it's so much fun. But in all fairness, the show is so cute. It started off with 6 episodes. They're like, yeah, let's just do like a mini series.
Yep.
Then it grew into like 16 episodes. And now they're like, oh, let's do like more. And I go, you know what you want me to do? So this season of Couples Camp, actually, I got a little bit outside of my box and I went to downtown Santa Barbara and actually do like a whole miming scheme, like where I practice the art of miming. Because I'm just like, you know, I mean, it sounds like fun.
I bet. I guarantee you guys have been approached. You two are amazing. I mean, I want to see you on WeTV.
You.
You'd be so good on Marriage Boot Camp, mostly to attack other couples. You know, it would be really.
Girl,
you're very loyal. You're very loyal.
I am clear. They just represent. And they're so great to work with, and they're so nice, and they just represent us so well that like that's where my heart would want to go, is with Lifetime or Kinetic. So, you know, if there's any other opportunities, just let me know.
I think there would be, because you were great on reality TV. All right, I want to ask you some lightning round questions because there's so much about your life. One of the things you were open about in a recent interview is freezing your eggs. Did you go through with that?
So I haven't yet. It's actually just been a discussion with Jamie and I. We were actually more serious about it before the pandemic, and then like everything kind of started shutting down and doctor's appointments and stuff starts getting weird. So, I definitely think it's something that we may approach next year, but I don't know. We're getting really serious about this conversation. Like just the other night, Jamie's like, I kind of liked that conversation that was happening on the show. I was like, yeah, and so what you gonna do? You gonna buy us a house? Like, what are you gonna do?
It's pretty
That's
easy
how we're gonna do it.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Do you feel like you want the house? You want a house? You want to be stable in a house before you have the kid, or before you guys?
Yeah, just because. Yeah, I really want the kid. Like, I really want the kid. I really want that kid. I really want the child to grow up. Like, and it's like that's their house, and that's where it's stable. Like that. I just know growing up, like I liked my stable household, and that's just my values, and I want my kid to grow up like that. I want it to know, like, this is where your home is right here. Like, this is your bubble. It's your safe spot. So that's kind of how I see things going. Plus, I just want to be somewhere that I know I'm going to be for a while, because I can't raise a child and pack a house up at the same time. That just sounds annoying.
Yeah. That's a lot
more
than
anything. But you're pregnant, aren't you? You said you're pregnant. How far along are you?
My kid's sleeping in a box. I mean, we live in a 1-bedroom apartment outside of DC. I'm doing the opposite of you. I'm like, I'm probably going to pack up once this kid is born. This child has no bedroom. It's going to sleep near our bed. We're doing it the opposite again.
I love how when this kid's born,
I'm 23 weeks. I'm 23 weeks pregnant this week. Yeah, I know.
A little bump.
Oh my god! Going. Oh my god, girl! The pants are like getting so tight. It's unbelievable.
I bet you're funny. I bet you're really funny pregnant. I bet like just the little things that happen.
Oh my God. No, and I'm a complete airhead. So when you're pregnant, you'll find this out. Like one of the things is you get hemorrhoids. Like you're so susceptible to hemorrhoids. It's off, and like constipation. So, okay, I got really constipated. This is TMI, but I feel like I can share it with you.
It's not. No, it's not.
So I got constipated a couple of weeks ago, right? So anyway, I have this hemorrhoid. So I go to like CVS to get witch hazel, because they tell you just like use witch hazel, like wipes or whatever. All right, I get witch hazel. I'm like, I'll just put this on. I pick up witch hazel facial toner, and I kept wondering why my butthole was like still seething and not getting better. And it was because I was using a facial witch hazel toner on my butt instead of actual witch hazel. I was like, oh my God, to my husband, I'm like, I think I just gave our kid like a shot of facial toner, like right in the butthole. Like this is just really,
So coming out with good skin guarantee. Got it.
So this child will have immaculate skin. Yeah, it's going to be really like all the shit.
I literally was born with skincare in my hand when I was born. Okay. It's like, I was born. That's how the kid's going to start talking. Like, no, I was really born with skincare. That's why it's good.
Yeah, this baby already has like a skin regimen. It's crazy. Oh, so I have the best time with it. Like I really am. It's just
awesome.
Oh my gosh.
You made me excited, because sometimes I hear people have their horror stories and stuff. I'm like, that's kind of funny. Okay. So you're making light of the whole thing.
I cannot recommend it. And we had like a crazy like molar miscarriage pregnancy a year ago. And I had this, it was insane. So like I went through all this like traumatic, I had a hemorrhage afterwards. I don't want to scare you, because I want you to just like have a baby. This never happens. It's like, it happens to 1% of people. It was very rare. So now I'm like loving being pregnant, and I actually feel really good. I think you just have to embrace it. I think you would love it. You guys should totally do it. Jump in.
I just have one question.
Yeah, anything.
How do you, from the moment you find out you're pregnant, are you not scared of like, D-Day? Like, does that not haunt you the whole 9 months?
This is why, okay, so you probably don't know this, but I just announced that I was pregnant last week at 22 weeks because I had such bad anxiety. Like everything that we went through, we would go, the 13-week mark is like the big one, right? And we have to get all these additional sonograms because of our past. So every time, we went for a big one like at 7 weeks, and there was a heartbeat and everything's looking great, right? Then we go at 13 weeks. They're like, everything's looking really good. We're going to do this genetic testing. That came back like 10 days later. It was so much anxiety. I mean, therapy.
I anxiety 10 days. Like you're like, oh my God.
I just kept every day. I'd be like, all right, I have to get out and walk. I have to get out of my head. I have to go to therapy. Like lots of tears, like lots, because you're emotional anyway. But every step of the way, it kept getting better and better. The 18-week mark was the last big one, because they can tell if the baby has spina bifida or everything. Everything was awesome. Baby's measuring like a week ahead. So like it's almost out of body, but you just have to keep going through the motions and start telling yourself like, it's okay. It's okay. And once you get your genetic, most pregnancies, miscarriages happen because of chromosomal like issues, which is what ours had. Ours had like an extra set of chromosomes, which is why the baby was never going to live. So once you get through those chromosomal tests, the chances of something happening go way, 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 way down. So when I have moments of panic, I keep going back to that. Like, it's good. It's okay. But it's definitely stressful for sure.
You're funny. I imagine if I ever was pregnant, I'd be like you, just like really fun about it, just like making the most of it.
I mean, I want to live stream the birth. I mean, I honestly do. Like, I
can't do that.
I know. I'm seriously thinking about charging $5.99 and like just like live stream my vag. I mean, I would do anything like that.
I would pay $5.99 to see your live stream birth. I would.
I think I had to do it. Okay,
Let me know.
I'm obsessed with your YouTube channel. You go on there, you smoke weed and you review it. You're fucking hysterical. You tell all. And I heard you're into like you're big time into crystals. Are you still into crystals?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, metaphysical healing. Absolutely. It's like one of my favorite things to go to like metaphysical stores or to do like, I know I'm really infamous for this. Still make Jamie do this stuff, but full moon circles is a real thing.
Okay, what is that? What is a full moon circle?
Oh my God, they're so much fun. Okay, so full moon circles. Oh, there's a magic butter maker review. That's a good one too if you want to make your own. So if you want to make your own magic butter, I'm sorry, I don't mean to distract you, but that's a good like cooking with your own cannabis. That's a good review if you want to make your own edibles. Anyways, so full moon circles, really, really cool. So the full moon approaches, you're going to do a glass of water. Has to be like a clear, clean glass because I like clear, clean things. That's just my spiritual feelings. And you fill it with water and you put your, I like to use a clear quartz crystal because they're more cleansing, but you set that under the full moon. And the theory behind it is that because the moon controls water, it's going to absorb that energy from the full moon. So I don't know if like everybody pays attention to full moon cycles, but there's a lot behind it that goes with the weather and the people's like moods and things like that, because we're made of water. And so the moon controls water. So guess what, guys? But yeah, I'll sit down, I'll do like a full meditation circle because I just feel like the full moon's just like a restart of your next 30 days of your life or 28 days. And you can really set the tone for that. And I just think it puts out just like good energy and it makes you think about your intentions for that upcoming cycle. And it just kind of keeps you like balanced and in check. So whether it works or not, I don't care. It works for me and it gets me motivated and stay centered. So that's just why I really love it.
How is Jamie? Is he on board with this or is he like not so in? Because I'm with you.
Oh, no, he has to. It's not a choice.
Really?
No, he's such a great team player. Oh my gosh. It's like one of my favorite memes. No, he is such a team player on any weird things that we do. I mean, off record, I could tell you off record. I've had him out on the beach tripping shrooms with me before because I needed him to experience the portal opening, refilling your Kool-Aid. It keeps you centered. And I just am like, and he thanks me for all of this stuff because he's like, I would have never just taken the time to treat my soul and take care of it the way you make me do it.
Well, I was going to ask you, have you guys done ayahuasca? Because I have many friends that have done ayahuasca ceremonies, like low key in New York City. They're like, you've got to do one. Of course, I can't do anything now, being pregnant, but I said to my husband, we should go do one of these ayahuasca ceremonies. You spend the night there, the shaman,
totally I want to.
Have you done one yet or no?
No, but I've heard of these. I know exactly what you're talking about and I want to go too. So when you get your invite, can you +1 me? Okay. I really want to go.
It's like invite only, you can't just like call them up because I think obviously, I don't know, there's probably rules and restrictions and yada, yada, yada. Right. So you have to be
like, invited. Are you a cop? The whole thing. Like, are you?
Who are you working for? But I could see you doing that. And everybody says they just have the most amazing journeys. And I'm like,
I hear the same thing. I want to so bad. So hopefully when you find it, you let me know because you got a teammate. That's like actually one of my YouTube fantasies is to actually do one of those for YouTube. I know it will never get monetized or anything like that. I don't care. I just want people to see that this stuff is okay.
You, Amber Bowles, Dr. Viviana, and I tripping our balls off on ayahuasca. I mean, that would be like, I mean, Lifetime should pick that up as
I
a
want to
show.
see Dr. Viviana. Yes.
Me too. She's amazing. Like I would open up all her portals. I mean, she's like so great. Dr.
Oh my
Pepper
God.
on ayahuasca. I mean, I'd freak out.
I'd love to hear what they have to say on ayahuasca too.
Okay, tell me this. How do you feel? So, season 12 is going to start in January, and there's going to be a twist that's been very controversial on the internet, which is they're going to blindfold the couples during this ceremony so they don't actually see each other. And part of the reason is because I think it was, I think it was season 12, maybe. Some of the couples, I don't know if they had actually met beforehand. They'd actually seen each other beforehand.
Okay.
How do you feel about, viewers have mixed reviews? You think this is a good idea or not?
I think it's a great idea. Why not? I mean, like, I say try something new, what's it going to hurt if it doesn't work out? Okay, well, I just won't do it again. I don't know. I think it's cool, though. It kind of adds like a hype factor to it. But at the same time, I mean, don't you take it off at the altar?
I think the way they make it sound is that they're going to go through the entire ceremony and say, I do. And then they reveal after the fact. But like somebody helps them down the aisle, the whole thing. They got to do the whole ceremony.
I love that. That's awesome. Oh man, that just took Married at First Sight, like from here to like here. Oh man, that's awesome.
It is going to up the ante, right? Because I have to imagine some of the couples see each other and are immediately not attracted. Even though they.
That's something that blows my mind with people. They've got to stop paying attention to looks, because I tell you something, looks fade so fast. And I tell you what, you will fall in love with someone's personality so much faster than somebody looking good. I'll tell you what, dating my past, I can't lie, I loved a good looking man, but let me tell you how that worked out for me.
I hear you.
They really loved themselves more than anything else. So I've always been somebody that's like, I don't care how they look. I can't fix the inside. So the outside, Kardashians proved we can do anything with that, but I can't fix the inside. So you better be okay in there.
Yeah, but you got lucky. I mean, it sounds like from the jump, you and Jamie had good sexual chemistry, which does go a long way at the start, And some of these other couples, like on season 12, I love the two that, they've gotten a lot of backlash because she really wasn't into having sex with him, that they're still married. So, don't you think the sexual chemistry gave you guys a leg up really quick?
Yeah, I'm a sexual person. I just really am. And it actually absolutely definitely gave us a leg up, because like I would hate to, I don't know, I'm going to overshare really quick. I actually did try that whole weight thing one time with a relationship, and it really, really backfired on me like bad. And after we did end up doing the dirty, like I just was like, I'm not into him. I can tell you I'm not going to want that again. So I always say, you check your Carfax before, you commit to anything else.
You got to.
Those Carfax, you got to check out what's going on down there first, because sometimes they're a little weird. So I knew I was going in.
How soon did you and Jamie, did you guys have sex on your wedding night? Because if I were on this show, I'm like, I wouldn't wait. Like, I would just have sex. Like, I don't even know why.
It was like day 2 of honeymoon. It was day 2.
I know.
Day 2 of honeymoon, enough champagne, you can't hold. I mean, you're a gorgeous place. You're married to this person. We got to make it work.
You're
here.
on
Let's
this
just
reality
try.
show. Yeah, exactly. What do you have to lose? It's Miles and Karen from season 2. Karen's gotten season 12. Karen's gotten a lot of heat because it took her a long time through the show to have sex with him. Now they're still married a year later, and they claim they have a great sex life. But it was kind of odd. She wasn't really that into having sex with him.
And I think people need to like lay off Karen about that, because everyone's allowed to move at their own pace, and some people just are a little bit slower, a little like faster, and people need to respect that. That's the one thing I just want to tell is like, guys, just like respect their process. Everyone's a little bit different. Not everybody's a Beth. They're going to rip her clothes off day 4, but not everybody's a Karen, and they're going to keep it, like make them wait. I mean, so you just got to respect
like
people.
A slut like Sarah, I'd be like, all right, well, I'm on this reality show. What the hell? Like,
that's not true, girl. I was like, I didn't know there was this whole production team in our suite, and I had like this corset dress on. I'm like, how am I supposed to take this off? I definitely don't have underwear under this. I definitely don't have a bra. This is a corset. Like, no. So where am I supposed to go? Your calls are in the bathroom. I can't go in there. I'm awkward. I don't know. So I just, little liquid confidence, I just took it all off. The cameras were there. I was like, I don't care. This is who I am.
Okay, I gotta ask you like rapid fire. You were recently attacked by a dog, which sounded horrific.
Oh, girl, I still have nightmares. Like, I'm not still normal from that at all. That is the most gory, horrifying, awful experience anybody can ever go through, and just it's not cool.
And so was this unprovoked? Was the dog on a leash? Like
No, it was not.
Was it a stray dog? How did this?
No, it wasn't. It was actually someone I knew, and he let this thing off of a leash for 2 minutes. 2 minutes, this dog was off leash, and it was like attached to my dog's neck within 2 minutes. So that dog, like, something's wrong with that. I hate to sound like that, but I know what I saw, and that was not normal. And I've seen other animals like that are in the same category breed. I don't want to breed shame. I'm not going to, because I still will lay down with that breed and I will hang out with it. I don't hate it, but I know like what it takes, because my sister has those kind of animals and she lives on a farm. Those animals are fine. They run around. I just feel like the dog just didn't have the training and the socializing that it actually probably needed. And unfortunately my animal almost lost its life because of it. So it wasn't cool. It was not. And it's just, I still have nightmares. Like I still, like, even now I'm like, oh God, okay. It was just really bad.
You have complete PTSD from that. And it's such a difficult thing. Cause I mean, I don't know if you're still friends with the person, but it makes it hard to be, I know you have to cut them off. I know it's awful. Like your dog nearly lost their lives. I mean, I'm sure it was thousands of dollars in surgery.
In danger. Yeah, it was put myself in danger. You put my family in danger. You almost ruined like something like that was my best friend. Like it's my child. And unfortunately, I just can't look at that person again the same way. And it just is what it is.
But how did it seem to bring you and Jamie closer though? Right?
Yeah,
how did that
jumped up? This was like 100-pound animal, like a big, thick animal. And this dude came and jumped on top of this animal and started like to where it almost broke his hand punching this dog. And after you see someone do so, Darwin's not Jamie's dog. He didn't have to do that. He put himself, like, that dog could have turned on him at any second.
Sure.
And he didn't think about any of that. All he knew is that it was latched onto me. It was latched onto my animal. And he was not letting go of this dog until it let go of us. It's craziest thing I'd ever seen in my whole life.
Oh my God, Beth. Yeah, it totally changes everything. And I'm glad your dog is okay. And
thank you.
Look, we got to have you back for part 2 because there's so much. I mean, I want to go into like your parents
all day.
Your dad was a trip. I love that you stood up for yourself when you inherited his business and people gave you shit. But like you said, they'd never do that for a guy. I mean, you know, and I want to know what do your parents have a good relationship with Jamie? Do they like him?
Absolutely. Yeah. We were just in Tahoe together before everything shut down again. No, we were just in Tahoe together for Thanksgiving, and it was a lot of fun. Oh my gosh. My dad and him have so much in common, come to find out. They're both in tech. They're both little geeks, and they just have a lot of the same common interests. And it's really funny to see that happen now.
Well, Beth, I'm looking forward to our ayahuasca trip.
Let's do it.
In the meantime, tell people what's your YouTube channel? Your Beth Bice _ on.
It's just Beth for Instagram, and then my YouTube is just Elizabeth Bice. It's just, you just type in my name and you're going to find me. And it's just a lot of fun in that channel, a lot going on, and it's always going to stay that way.
And when is the couples, when are you going to be back on reality TV with the couples confessionals?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So couples camp starts. I don't have a hard date, but it does start back in January. I want to say the second or third week. And I know that there are some really cool specials going on for Married at First Sight season 12. And there's going to be a lot of fun discussions and panels, and I'll be there. And that's all I want to say is that I'll be there. So just watch it. Basically.
Love it.
That's why I would watch it.
You're fabulous. Thank you for being on the show. We love you.
You're welcome. You're so amazing too, by the way. And I can't wait to talk to you again. No, really.
You are. You're coming back on. We got to get you, Amber Bowles, Dr. V. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
It's all panel.
All panels. Yeah. And doing, smoking weed and doing ayahuasca. Probably not at the same time. I don't know.
In about 9 more months.
9 more months. Yeah, absolutely.
Pump and dump, right?
Yeah, pump and dump. I agree. Yeah. The baby needs clarity too. It's all good. Anyhow.
I mean, it's got good skin at this point. I mean,
it's already had a facial butt toner. It's ready for, I mean, all right,
honey,
man. We love you.
You're so amazing.
Bye.
It's so great meeting you.